Mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we'll answer your questions. These come from our live shows that we do on Wednesdays, where if you super chat us or use the hashtag Seahawks, then you get your questions answered. And here's what you may be wondering. If you may be saying to yourself, man, I would love to be a part of a Mailbag show. Well, subscribe to the channel, and then you'll be notified when we go live. And so you can join us for our live shows and get your questions in, and I'll answer them. I'll interact with you. I'll tell you how much I hate the Madden games as of late. There hasn't been a good one in the last 10 years. We'll sit around. We'll have a good time. So make sure and join us for our live shows on Wednesdays. Subscribe, be a part of our mailbag. You'll be glad you did. Sajin checking in with a $5 super chat. Bang! Says, can't wait for the season to start. Go Hawks. I agree. I am so optimistic about this Seattle Seahawks team. The most optimistic I've been about the Seahawks in a long time heading into a season. You look at the offense, adding in Jackson Smith-Njigba, Zach Charbonnet, Kenny McIntosh, help on the offensive line with Anthony Bradford. They are going to be explosive. You go to the defensive side of the ball, bringing back Bobby Wagner, Julian Love into the mix. This is going to be a fun group. Expectations should be high for this Seahawks team this year. Go Hawks. The man himself with a $5 super chat. Thank you, the man himself. There's no man like you. Outside of the first round, I think our best picks are K-Mac and Hall. I believe they will stand out in the preseason. So it's interesting that you bring up Hall being one of the better picks, because our own Tom Downey, God bless his soul, has not been high on Hall. He gave him a third-round grade and rated him as like the 12th best edge rusher and said that was a reach for the Seahawks to make that pick there. For me, my favorite outside of the first round, if we're looking value, I like the Anthony Bradford pick. Bradford out of LSU. He's exactly what the Seahawks are looking for in the on the offensive line, filling that guard spot. I think he's better than what he was picked, that he was undervalued there, and he's got a chance to earn some playing time, at least be a rotational piece and work his way into being a starter. To me, that was a good find for Seattle. So that was my my great value pick, sponsored by Walmart there. Next question coming in from 12th Man, writes, is there any chance the Seahawks could trade for DeAndre Hopkins? D-Hop's been on the market for a minute now, and I don't know how many people know this, but the no-trade clause he had got voided when he failed the drug test last year for HGH and that whole situation. And so he doesn't have the no-trade clause. His price tag is ultra high, and of how much money he's owed, and then you have to give up draft capital too, and then not to mention you're the Seahawks. You're in the division. Arizona's not going to let him go to Seattle here. Any chance? I guess there is a 1 or 2% chance, but slim to none. DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be a Seahawk. Not to mention, who did you just draft in the first round? That's right. Jackson Smith-Njigba. You don't need help at receiver. Not happening. Should Seattle trade for DeAndre Hopkins? This is our pin comment today. You might get an ad break, if so, take advantage of. What do you think? D-Hop? No way that's happening. Let me know anyway. Y for yes, in for no. Tell me in the comment section if you think D-Hop should come to Seattle. K-Soon writes, how much trouble are we still in with the linebacker room? The telling sign for me will be when Jordan Brooks returns. If Jordan Brooks is back when the season begins, things will be fine. It could be a lot worse. If he's not, and you have to depend on Devin Bush for a majority of the season, then, yeah, that's a problem. And I got some concerns about Darrell Taylor, an outside linebacker. I like Uchenna Nwosu a lot. So it's kind of a wait-and-see thing as far as that goes. But Jordan Brooks, his health is a big part of that equation. That's the biggest question to be answered there. Tom Anderson says they didn't get drafted in the 7th, but I get a little credit on Jake Bobo. Tom, absolutely, you do. Jake Bobo. I like Jake Bobo. Jake Bobo, undrafted free agent. Dude is massive, like 6'4", 6'5". Size matters, right? Big hands, good catching ability. One issue, he's not very fast. He's about 4'9" was his 40, not very good, okay? But even with that said, he could still be a red zone threat, and you could still try to throw over the top to him for those, 50-50 balls of some sorts. I think you can find a way to work Jake Bobo in, kind of like a tight end of some sorts. If he can block, yeah, watch out. He's got a shot to make the 53-man. We'll see. DK, touchdowns all day. He rules. Writes in, should the Seahawks trade for Zach Wilson? How about no, and no? Zach Wilson sucks. I mean, he's had every opportunity to succeed there with that New York Jets team. He had good talent around him last year. That was a team that, with decent quarterback play would have made the postseason. They turned to Mike White, who is a career backup. Mike White's fine as a backup, and he outplayed him by a mile. And not to mention he is immature. He's a baby. And you got Drew Lock as your backup. You're not needing to look for a backup out there. And the locker room hated him in New York. No thanks. Don't want him. Don't want him anywhere near my team. Stay away from Zach Wilson. No thanks. Should the Seahawks trade for Zach Wilson? T for trade, P for pass. What say you? Let me know what you think. Zach Wilson, T for trade, P for pass. Let me know what you guys think. So with the draft in the books, draft jerseys are on sale for your favorite Seahawks rookies. Whether it's Devin Witherspoon or Jackson Smith-Njigba. Remember on draft night when Roger Goodell called their name on stage and they took the picture with Goodell? Well, they did so holding this jersey. They're never going to wear the number 1, but it's a commemorative jersey from draft night. And this is great for the man cave to put on display. Maybe you still want to wear it to a game, whatever it may be. You can get your jerseys now at chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies to get yours today. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. What are you waiting for? Get yours now. You'll be glad you did. Ronan writes, watching the show from Ireland. Awesome. Top of the morning to you. How is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow treating you? Hopefully there's lots of gold there. Watch the show from Ireland and need help with ordering a new jersey. Have number 3, but need an update. I was at a Seahawks game in 2016, so leaning towards Lockett or Wagner. Well, if you go to chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies, there's plenty of jerseys over there for Jackson Smith-Njigba or Devin Witherspoon, those guys, if you want to go young. And if you click that link, it will take you to the other jerseys that we have as well. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Geno Smith. Here's one, okay? And I see what you think about Lockett or Wagner. Very good Seahawk careers. Those are jerseys that you could wear well after they retire. But also, what about Kenneth Walker? Can I intrigue you there? I think Kenneth Walker is on pace to have a great career. I think you got plenty of options. Go to our link, chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. And let's see if we can get it on our screen there below. And chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. And that link will take you to our rookie jerseys. But you can also check out the other jerseys that we're selling on our website as well, which you'll be very pleased. Plenty of options to rock out with your Hawk out, supporting your Seattle Seahawks. There's the link right there, chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. Check it out. K-Soon says, I think the upgraded offense will help the defense as well. Sometimes the best defense is the best offense. Keeping your defense off the field. And when you have more offensive weapons, just simple math here, folks. I'm not a math guy, but I know this. The more points you score, that's the less punting and less 3-and-outs that you do. So I think, yes, absolutely. that should help the defense of the offense be able to put more points out there and showing some production there. Yes, it will absolutely help the defense. Robbie Red writes, Frank Clark for cheap. Wouldn't it be a bad idea? That's where I disagree. Okay? Seahawks fans are very, very well aware of Frank Clark's history. Dealt with some legal issues in Michigan. Then, goes to Seattle and goes to Kansas City, and he's had more legal issues since he entered the league and even recently in Kansas City involving a gun and everything like that. And I know that he's won 2 Super Bowls, but his time and his career, it's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. He's been very inconsistent. I do not believe that Frank Clark is worth the headache of an older guy now, okay, and who has those off-the-field issues, that hasn't shown that he's grown past that hasn't grown up, and I don't think he's going to be cheap either. I think he still is going to command a decent price tag that might be out of the Seahawks range. So I'm out on Frank Clark personally. Last question from Mitty writes, do you believe that Walker should automatically be running back 1, or should he actually battle out with Charbonnet and McIntosh? So let me put it to you this way, Mitty, okay? Hear me out on this. Let's have a little fireside chat here for a second. Does it matter who RB1 is? No, it really doesn't. In today's NFL, you have to have multiple running backs. And you got to have all guys that you can depend on, you can trust on. Maybe you get 10 touches for one guy and 11 for another, and whatever it may be. Maybe you're running one guy at the slots, another in the backfield. I mean, mix and match, right? I think Walker will be your number 1 guy, and I don't think there's any reason why he shouldn't be your number 1 guy. But that doesn't mean the other guys shouldn't get playing time, and that you shouldn't have them on the field together, and that you shouldn't keep them all fresh. That's the way you go about this, is you use all of them so you can keep all of them fresh and get the most out of them. So that's the way I look at that, Mitty. Before we go, predict the Seahawks record in 2023. Schedule's coming out soon. How many wins will the Seahawks have? Tell me in the comments section. Let me know how many games you think the Seahawks will pull off in 2023. And I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.